not least, we are going to get into a back and forth involving two hip hop personalities. These are two guys who are in no way, shape, or form actually involved in hip hop, but have somehow been able to make a lot of money off of hip hop. Go figure.
Ridiculous, ridiculous.
One being DJ Valid, DJ Invalid,
There you go.
but one being DJ Vlad and the other being Peter Rosenberg. These two don't like each other. They're beefing, probably because they both occupy the same sort of space.
Exactly.
Um, and Vlad is saying, "Hey, man, for anybody who, is looking up to Peter Rosenberg, this guy has no career. He's a bum. He sucks, and he's a nobody. So take that for what it's worth." And Rosenberg is like, "Oh man, I'm actually doing pretty well. So shouts out to you. Good luck, but I'm gonna keep it moving." So this says Peter Rosenberg responds to jab from DJ Vlad. Stuff is going well, man. DJ Vlad and Peter Rosenberg are taking jabs at each other online. On Thursday morning, Vlad took to X to diss Rosenberg in a long message where he called the venerated radio host broke, irrelevant, and a hater. For all the up and coming hip hop media outlets, look at Peter Rosenberg for what not to do. Vlad wrote, same dead end, low paying radio job for 20 years, never got a promotion. In fact, he got demoted when Ebro took the main position on the Hot 97 morning show, spent 18 years uploading to his YouTube channel to only have 50,000 followers. Most of the videos he drops get less than 1K views. Hated on every new media person who came in the game, formed no relationship with any of us, will ultimately retire broke and bitter.
Wow.
So that's Vlad taking a lot of shots at Rosenberg. It took a couple of hours for Peter to catch wind of Vlad's remarks. Oh snap! Someone just sent this to me during commercial at First Take, which is a flex. Rosenberg wrote, referring to Stephen A. Smith's show for which he provides commentary. Glad you're exploiting people on YouTube. Glad you're exploiting people on YouTube. Stuff is going well, man. If you glance at Rosenberg's X bio, it's clear his career has surpassed just being a Hot 97 host, and that his work involves both music and sports now. One-time WWE 24/7 champion, Hot 97 every morning, ESPN 98.7 FM every afternoon, WWE, Cheap Heat, I don't know what Cheap Heat is, one episode real late, his bio says. According to YouTube creator Poetic Flacco, it appears that Vlad and Rosenberg have been beefing since at least 2010. In a video about the feud, Poetic Flacco shares a screenshot of a tweet dating back to 2010, which shows Rosenberg saying DJ Vlad used to be a mixtape DJ. He is now the garbage pail kid version of World Star Hip Hop. Congrats. So these are two guys who occupy a particular space within hip hop culture, going at one another for supremacy in that particular space. Um, what do you think of these clowns going back and forth with one another?
I mean, honestly, that's a good way of putting it. It's two clowns. That's how I see it. And yeah, I believe that their beef is stemming from them occupying the same space. I'm surprised Adam 22 isn't in here mudslinging with these guys.
Well, he's busy crying on the internet about how his show is going broke, apparently.
Yeah, allegedly. You know, that's another topic, but yeah, that fool there, man. But yeah, man, these guys here just Rosenberg represents the old guard. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. He's the old guard of what Vlad is. Vlad is more of the he was the more contemporary one until Adam 22 came around, who just, each one of these guys are up in the ante. Rosenberg would play the game in the sense that he is hip hop. He studies hip hop. He honors it. He respects it. He upholds it. So he played that whole game with it, but it was still in the sense of everything that was being played and promoted on that channel. I've seen some of his interviews when he's talking to people, it's not always the high level, high moral integrity thing that he likes to parade himself around as. I looked at him as an agent of the people who were promoting foolishness, but it was old school foolishness within the rap game. I'm pretty sure if there was some interview that people can pull up whenever there was a Ja Rule beef or a 50 Cent beef or something like that going on, he was out there adding to the fodder. You know what I'm saying? Being an instigator of some sorts, I'm sure, because that's how the radio industry operated. Then when the internet came around, DJ Invalid, I like that. Came around with the corn way of treating these artists in a sense that he would pay them little to no money for the interview, and then the people would jump on that $4,000, $5,000, but he'll turn around and make money in perpetuity off YouTube. Dividing their videos into 40 something parts.
Yeah.
And then so he'll sit there and get the check. Then when they get in trouble 5 years later, 6 years later, 10 years later, here he goes with a flashback clip of them incriminating themselves or them saying something crazy that he doesn't care. This guy, he definitely took exploitation to the next level. But then, of course, I don't think anybody can top what the hell Adam 22 just did, because that was taking exploitation to the next power. That was insane. All right. But be that as it may, I think, again, like you said, just to touch on things, that, their beef is pretty much coming from a situation of one guy impeding on another guy's space. So if it started back in 2010 when Rosenberg had a problem with it, all right, I'm pretty sure that was his problem, that this new guy is coming in and gaining more steam than him. And Vlad had a good little run until I think his MO became well known.
Yeah.
And now he has the same type of people coming to his show now. Or the same people.
Literally. Yeah, I was gonna say the same people. I feel like I see. It seems like Tony Yayo is on Vlad TV every other month. I feel like
it's Tony Yayo, it's Boosie. Boosie's gonna come get that check. And one hand, I'm kind of not mad at Boosie for coming in to get that check, because I know it's a decent check, that he's coming to get. But he'll come in there and just do his Vlad thing, But yeah, the up and coming guys, he was getting some of those snot-nosed knuckleheads to incriminate themselves too now. But I think that nowadays, I think the jury is out on on Vlad, hopefully. All right. That, hey man, you don't go on there, especially if you live a particular lifestyle. So, but yeah, Vlad had a good run, man. And I think that his reign is coming to an end. That's why he's been bitter himself over the last few years, getting into internet beefs with anybody, or jumping into other people's business that he has no business jumping into, because he's not the same guy anymore. He doesn't have the same virility that he used to have whenever he dropped the video. And I'm happy about that, to be honest. Yeah. But what are your thoughts on Rosenberg and DJ Vlad, if you want to call him a DJ, getting into online beefs and apparently lasting for over a decade? What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I'm looking at, bro. Vlad did a video. He did an interview with Stevie J, and he somehow managed to cut that up into 32 different segments.
And it was a 28-minute interview too.
Right? How the hell? Like, bro, this guy is such a loan shark. Like, he's such a shiesty loan shark, bro. I have a bigger issue with Vlad than Rosenberg.
100.
I think Vlad is far more exploitative.
Yes.
Bringing on these individuals who represent what is the biggest problem with this genre in the first place.
I agree.
Like, the things that I rail about when it comes to the popularization of a particular sound, he exacerbates that by providing that exact sound with the biggest platform on his own show.
Yes.
And I can't stand it. It sickens me to my stomach that people would even bother subscribing to his crap. But I'm also not surprised, because people just have a insatiable desire for messiness, an insatiable desire for chaos,
Yeah.
an insatiable desire for death and destruction. And if he can be the biggest merchant of death of them all, people are going to gravitate towards his channel. And he has been able to profit off of that for a very long time. And it disgusts me.
Mm-hmm.
My only issue with Rosenberg, I do put them in the same. So just to back up, I agree with you. I think the reason why they both don't like each other, I think the crux of it is they occupy the same space,
Mm-hmm.
which is not being a part of actively making the music, but still being able to profit off of the music while also looking like someone who does not represent the majority of the people who practice within the music.
Agreed.
They both occupy that unique air, and so there's going to be some friction there because of the competition. That's why I think that they beef. My issue with Rosenberg is going all the way back to the Hot 97 days. Like I've been knowing about Rosenberg since we was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And at back then, I used to be like, why is it that this guy seems to always have the most to say when we're talking about 50 Cent versus Ja Rule or Jay-Z Nas, the
Right.
Jay-Z Nas beef or Benzino versus Eminem. That's when these shows all of a sudden have all the content in the world when
Correct.
we're talking about beefing and something negative.
Correct.
But there's no equivocation to that energy being provided to uplift the stuff that carries the music in a more positive light.
Agreed.
That's when the imbalance to me started. And again, I never had an issue. If you want to get into the beef, if you want to get into the sewage, talking about the beef and the messy stuff, then just provide the same amount of airtime and currency and attention to the good stuff. Provide a balancing act. And it always seemed like those platforms provided more airtime and attention to the messy stuff, as
Yeah.
if to suggest that it's the messy stuff that truly forms the fabric of what makes this music so good. And I
Correct.
always resented that insinuation. I always had a big problem with that. And Rosenberg, the reason why I used to roll my eyes at him, and you know how I often talk about how hip hop journalism is dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You can't find anybody who's willing to be critical. I feel like the only person who's kind of in that area, who's not afraid to say something is trash, is oddly enough Joe Budden. I can't think of anybody else who talks about hip hop music who I feel is willing to go on the record saying, I don't think this is good. Everybody else is always pandering to this garbage. And that started with Rosenberg's generation.
Yes, it
That,
is.
start, that started with the classic radio format. Hot 97, whatever the station is that does the Breakfast Club. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I want to know something.
Power 105. There you go.
Mhm.
That's what it is. These radio stations, you want to get these interviews with these artists so you'll never be critical of bad art. You'll never be critical of bad music. And Rosenberg was always the one up there talking about how good the trash is.
How
It used
dope
to,
it is.
it used to annoy the crap out of me because that's part of why we're in this mess in the first place, where we're dealing with this trash music and everybody thinking that that's the only option they got.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I can't stand him as much as he upholds the old guard of hip hop and he cares about preserving what the foundation of hip hop is meant to stand for. He spent the majority of his career as a media personality bigging up bad music.
That exactly.
So my whole thing is, yeah, you want to be this staple for what hip hop is supposed to stand for. I heard you over and over again talking about how good bad shit is.
Yep.
So what good did that do us?
Right.
So all the way around, I feel like these guys need to just do a show together because they belong with one another.
Well, I don't see why not.
And and to your point, if they want to get Adam 22 to be like the just hilarious of their show, they need to just go. They need to form a hip hop clown fiesta triumvirate.
Yes.
Where it is the three of them engaging in their court gesturing shenanigans.
Yes.
Because they belong with one another.
That way I can ignore one piece of content and get them all out of the way. Oh, these bastards. I can't stand either one of these guys. And I had a disdain for Rosenberg before I had a disdain for Vlad. For Vlad interviews, it was for at some point a point where I was like, all right, even though this is part 21, I still sat there and I watched it. It was a point where I was doing that. But then once I caught hip to what he was doing, every question he would ask, every artist that would come on, I'm like, why are you asking him that? You know what I'm saying? Why are you asking him that? Or why you seem to be so hung up on this part of our, whatever. Or, somebody's coming on because they got a new album or a new mixtape and you ask them about a beef that happened 5 years ago.
Yeah, a gunshot incident or a stabbing.
Yeah. And I'm like, why are you bringing this up? I personally just got tired of that. So he was like the only person, like at the time at least, interviewing these people. So that's why I would watch it. But then, at some point I was like, I just can't do this anymore. Oh, and by the way, bro, and it's not funny, you know what I'm saying? But if you want to get a good laugh, it's kind of morbid. Watch some AR Ab interviews, bro, where he's self-snitching. Just put in AR Ab self-snitching. It's compilations that come up. He says he says the wildest stuff on camera. I cannot believe it, bro. It is the craziest thing. And I used to listen to AR Ab too, bro. That was back when I was, whatever.
Yeah.
But he says the wildest stuff, man. But yeah, man, I say hopefully these young people, especially after the latest thing with Adam 22 came about, hopefully people are aware of the Rosenbergs, the Vlads, and 22s in the game or just in your life, man. And there's no need to be around these people that are trying to exploit you. So I guess they're battling for who's going to be top exploiter. So, which is crazy as that sounds, man.
Yeah, you wonder how did they get there? That's the crazy part. Like, what is their journey? Like, who kept them into their position? Because they were definitely ushered in.
Yeah.
They didn't have to fight through anything. They must have known people and formed relationships, and people gave them keys to open doors. Because otherwise, I don't know how they earned their way into having those positions that they
What's
have.
their talent?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, that is true. If the three of them can get together, I can just avoid one piece of content instead of three.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
I don't care how many parts they want to upload either.
Yeah, that would be very, very ideal. And Rosenberg, I'll be seeing him on First Take sometimes, so I guess he's now getting that mainstream money. But yeah, he's been on the radio show on ESPN too. So I guess now he's venturing into sports, which is fine because sports to me is more of an all-inclusive type situation. I don't know. Rap and hip hop and just black culture in general to me is very insular for good reasons. And so it just makes individuals like him, it kind of is very pronounced when they come in and they do their thing. And it's always rubbed me the wrong way.
Especially if they do it in a particular way.
Yeah, it's the way that they go about doing it.
Right, because there's people in the game that, you know what I'm saying, and they're not of the culture, but they're of the culture.
Right.
And anybody got a problem of them.
Yeah.
But Rosenberg been had a beef in the streets, at least with me, and of course Vlad. So yeah, it's all about how you come to the cookout.
Yeah.
If you get invited to the cookout and you doing an electric slide with everybody else, it's all good. But if you sit there and you clapping and slapping your knee and recording and do that again, what you mean do that again?
Yeah, that's very good point, man. Yeah, never been a fan of that particular kind of content, but it is what it is. So again, and I'll take it back to what I said about Angel Reese and people who complain about her guests. If you really don't like it, don't watch them. Because if the views go down and the subs start disappearing, it won't get played on the algorithm. They won't be able to make their money, and they'll have to figure something else out. But when that does not happen, I'm inclined to believe, despite how much people complain about these individuals, that there's far more people who actually want it and love it. So
that's true, bro. At some point, Angel Reese is only going to have Tony Ayo on her show because that's the only person that's willing to do it.
Yeah. It is what it is, man. It's whatever with their beefs. They both should just retire.
Agreed,
You know?
1,000.
But that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. We are done. It is over. Another fantastic edition of the Conscious Approach channel in the books. My name is JV Wins. That is Dogon SS. As always, check me out Instagram at JV Wins, JVWINS. Conscious Approach is on Instagram at Con Approach, CONAPPROACH. If you're checking us out for the first time, this is how we rock. This is how we roll. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. As long as it is constructive, we don't have to agree. Let us know your thoughts when it comes to the commentary in this or any other video. We do engage, and we certainly appreciate the support. Again, check us out on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. If you can't watch the videos, if you're at work and the boss is hovering over your desk, making sure that you ain't watching no videos, put the headphones in and listen to us on Spotify. We're also there as well. As I always like to say, have a mind of your own. Think for yourself. Don't be a group thinker. That is what we stand for over here on this side. And until the next time, people, because we will be back, stay solid and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Yeah, yeah. And the name is Dogon SS. Skr, skr. And you can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS, on YouTube, DraftKings, MySpace, Facebook. Hey, if it's a social media platform, Dogon SS out there. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, doing all that follow stuff. All right, greatly appreciated as always. All right, and as I say on every pod, guys, all right, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it plug. And don't let anybody get you off your pivot. So until the next time, everybody, thank you for liking and subscribing and consciously leaving those comments. We see y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Marcus Dudley and all that good stuff from there. All right. And as I say every time, guys, more rings than Robert Ory. We'll catch y'all in the next episode. Skr, skr.
That's right. So until next time, folks, we thank you. We appreciate you. We love the support. We shall return. But until then, check out our video uploads and we'll see you later. Peace.
Peace. Skr. Go Heat. We ready this time, boy. We done turned it up on now.